Hi, everyone. Thanks to Gish, I have been inspired to do mask. And so I thought that I would film the process because who doesn't want to look like their natural selves while wearing these goddamn fucking masks out everywhere we go for the next fucking 2 years, probably. So, what I've done is I've actually started to color the mask. So I'm going to share with you my process. So what I have done so far is I've collected a mix of different colors of foundations and concealers. And I'm actually using as a baseline airbrush legs because the amount of foundation it takes to paint the mask is quite a bit. And foundation, as you know, can get pretty expensive. So I would recommend starting with a cheap foundation as a baseline. Something that obviously matches your natural color, but is a little bit darker. If you're painting a white mask, then you're going to need a little bit of a darker color to match your skin tone. And you're going to need a lot of it. Now you can also use acrylic paints and try to skin tone match as such, but I am just using makeup, hoping for a little bit of a more natural outlook when the process is complete. Now, wearing the mask on your face as you're doing the painting is good for at least beginning the process because then you will see the skin tone match. Now, I already know what I'm working with now is the baseline, so let's just paint this on here. I wonder if I have a tool. No, I do not. Just plethora of foundation. And this is, it's not perfect, but it is a lot better than what we had. Now, for my color palette, I'm using a concealer style foundation that covers very well, that is a little bit darker than my skin tone. I'm using a skin match foundation, and I also have a light ivory color that will do for shading and highlights, and then a concealer kit that will be good for contouring. Once I complete the painting process, I'll set with a powder, but you have to be careful. If you put the powder on when your mask is still quite wet, you're going to end up with chunks of powder on your mask. Now look at that. That is beautiful. All right, so I've got the base pretty much covered. Now I'm going to go ahead and with a skin tone matching good foundation, I'm going to get the edges of the mask. And this way it can go a little bit on your skin and it's okay because it's your concealer. It's your foundation. So as you can see, it's a little bit lighter than my base, but I do have, again, a lighter foundation that I'm going to use to help with the skin tone matching. Now, it's tricky, but we're going to want to try and paint the top so that you don't have white showing through too much at the nose. So get it right in there. And you're going to want to use a pretty sturdy foundation brush for this. Definitely not your hands. You can also most likely get away with a paintbrush, especially for the basic bits. And then once we start going into the shading and contouring and painting of the actual features of your face, we're going to switch to a concealer brush for fine lines and details. That's looking pretty good. Okay. Look at that. How natural. Beautiful and natural looking. Ah, love it. So we've already now got a natural looking mask that we're working with. And this is just the base, so I'm pretty happy with this. So now I'm going to get my concealer brush. It's just basically like a foundation brush, a little bit of a stiffer brush with a fine painting edge. And I'm going to use a light ivory. My natural skin tone is nude beige. And then I'm going to swap to light ivory now. And I'm just going to paint highlighted spots just to see how this looks. We're going to have a little bridge of the nose here. And we're going to come down to the natural tip of your nose, elongate a little bit as there is some protrusion in the mask. And we're going to highlight a little bit in the cheekbones. And we're going to paint on some nostrils where we have our actual nostrils. Now, this is the tricky part, the lips. There is going to be a little highlighter at the tip of the lips, but we're going to use this also to paint our smile. Or basically, I'm going to say driver's license style smile, as there's no way in God's green earth that I'm actually painting teeth. How cute. A little bit highlighting there. And we're going to do a little bit on the bottom where our chin would be protruding. Right around here. And a little bit on this bit here where my jawline is, where you'd see a little bit of the cheek sticking out. There. Now, it looks kind of silly right now, but I can assure you that it's going to look much better once we get the shading going through. Now, for natural blend, I'm going to use my base foundation, but now let's switch. And I'm going to use a small pointed blending brush, because this is going to be tricky. And I'm actually going to mix it with a little bit of liquid foundation just for the texture, because we are going to want to be able to paint it onto the mask. And the dark color is going to be pretty easy to see. So around, we've got here where we normally contour the shadow of the nose. We're going to do our lines, our nose lines, and then the tip of the nose. And then around the nostrils. Now, underneath the nose, and just a little bit to get the round bridge of the nose. All right, now we need nostrils. How about one right there and one right there? Excellent. Let's do a little bit more mixing. So I am just mixing the light stuff just because of the liquid. Oh my God, actually I have another foundation. And we're gonna want to contour a little bit of this line here, oops, for the shading of the cheekbone to bring in the face a bit. We're gonna do a total Kardashian contoured face here and be all makeuped up. It's gonna look amazing. Now let's bring that shading down from the nose. And we're going to slim up the bridge of the nose a bit here because I want it to be skinnier. But, you know, we do still want to stick with close to our natural nose if possible. So let's not go too crazy, guys. Now underneath the lip, we're going to want to do to create that shadow, which we're going to fill in obviously with lip liner, among other things. And then mouth line. Now the part that I don't like, we're going to contour the laugh lines in the face. So you can see some definition. Ugh. I'm going to bring up a picture of my face. Unedited, horrible. Which I don't want to look at, but I'm going to. Oh. Yeah, so here are coming from my nose, my laugh lines. Which happened as I get older. But hopefully not too much. All right. Now to counteract, we're going to go back to the ivory and add a little bit more highlighting. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of cheeks. Going to be right here. Now this is really good because you can see it clearly. Now this is going to create a around the lips sort of shape, which we're going to work on blending later. And we do want the tip of the chin to be a little bit highlighted. Not too much, so let's work on blending that with our regular foundation. So it creates more of a natural shape. Well, don't we look absolutely ravishing? Now I actually need to pop out this picture. Open image in a new tab. I need to open this in a new. Remove this. Yes. All right. Now, all of the shadows in my face that I have to be confronted with. It's terrible. Now I have a powder contouring kit here, which I'm going to start to play with. It's scary, but I need to actually do some more powder stuff because I need a little bit more darkness to paint with. And I need another brush actually. All right, so I'm bringing in my contouring brushes that are like smaller, so it's gonna be easier to do a little bit darker. So now I'm gonna darken up around the nose a bit. And so I'm gonna use a smaller one for finer lines, and we're gonna do a nostril. Now we want to try and paint as much face on because this is the image that most people will see. And my lovely laugh lines. Now I'm using a very fine tipped firm brush with the darkest powder on my contouring palette because this is going to be my nostrils. There, look at that, I'm a fucking artist. All right, now I've got 3 shades of this so we can do a little bit more finer detail, like bringing the tip of the nose down. Oh, it's starting to look like a nose, guys. All right. Now to draw my smirk. Starting to look like a face. Now under the lips. The center part is tricky for the style of mask. But we're not aiming for perfection. We just want a little more realism so we don't look like we are all living in a hospital. Now, the cool thing is once we've got all this stuff painted, we can put the mask down and use blending brushes once we've got the basic shape. Okay, I think we're doing pretty good so far. Now I'm going to grab my big contouring brush. I'm going to get a little bit darker in my cheeks now for the sides. There we go. Now, underneath, we're also going to want to contour and shade a bit. Because we're going to want it to look like we have some shape to our face. Oh, I'm going to use my concealer brush here. Whoops, where's my concealer brush? With my natural color, because it looks like I missed a bit of spot here under the chin. Looks kind of like white. Darken that up actually with my airbrush legs because it's darker. Match, color match here. There we go. Look at that beauty. At this point, we're just in to even out the skin tone, so it's not showing too much white. See, doesn't that look absolutely amazing? Like totally a person. And, you know, I feel like it's just going to help open things up socially. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel more like yourself. Just remember, though, after you do this, that you really need to, right, I'm going to use my big blending brush right now and my base foundation to blend a little bit up here. There we go. Now, it's really hard to unsee the lines in our mask, unfortunately, but we're going to do our best. Like, as long as we have the basic form of our face, we're going to feel good and pretty and confident. Now I want to blend a little bit of our highlighter. My smaller blending brush, I'm going to get that lip shape blended with my base foundation. A little bit, I'm going to mix the colors of my ivory and my nude to start blending around the lip and bringing the shape of the lip down a bit. Oh, actually, I might take this off so I can see a little better. Actually, it's harder to see. Wow. It's easier to do it like this, in all reality, as crazy as that sounds. Okay. All right, we're going to keep the, there we go. We're going to try and keep the part under the nose to be a little darker. And we're going to actually have to draw a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go for my contour kit here again. And I'm going to actually draw, because I have a little, we got that dent there under the nose that goes towards the lip. Now, we kind of need to have that. Now, using my medium blending brush and the medium color contour palette blending palette, we're going to just darken it up a little bit towards this part of our face. So we can always repaint our laugh lines, but we just want to blend, so that it doesn't look like too many lines. There, that looks a lot better. My nose is looking huge, but this is so funny. I love it. I'm feeling human. Okay. I'm going to put my dark on again because I want to get my lips kind of drawn in. They're looking really good. All right, let me take off the mask and see if I can't do details Now it's actually, if you look up close, it's really just shading, but from a distance, you can see the features of the face. So what I'm gonna do is using my very fine firm brush and a dark contour powder, I'm gonna start to actually draw the lines of my lip more accurately. So this is gonna look a little bit more beautiful and professional. I'm going to use the darkest contouring line to do the middle of the mouth. And then we're going to go back to a lighter shade for underneath the lip. To create that under the lip shape. Let's see how that goes. That looks pretty good, I would say. Now, I think this side has a little too much white. So I'm going to try to use my blending brush again. And I'm going to blend this, the ivory color, so it's not so formed. Let's see, how's that? All right, now I went a little bit too much with the light here, so I got to redraw my black lines around my nostrils. Which nobody loves these, but we do have them. And it will continue, it will create the shape of your cheeks in the end. Check this out. Laugh line, and then this is your cheek shape right here, where we're going to paint our beautiful, oh, here's my big blending brush. I'm going to put a little bit of light color again, because I am missing my cheek on this side. So we're going to highlight the cheek a little bit here, okay? You want it to be cute, little, round cheekbones. And highlighting with, where's my other blending brush? Extra light. We're going to just highlight top of the cheeks, and then we're going to use color eventually to get the rest in. Okay. So our cheeks are like kind of highlighted. Now, on the bottom, we don't obviously want to leave that color. We're going to use our blending brush once again in our more natural colors. I'm going to use actually my light colored contouring cream to blend from the highlighted cheekbone area to lower area. This one's a little bit easy, like nicer blended here. There. And now we're going to go on the medium and do the bottom half, because we don't want the harsh lines taking us away. So let's do our jawline. With the light, we're going to do our jawline. How do you guys feel about that? Pretty good for a base, I'm going to say. Looks like a face. Now we should do a little bit of setting powder. So I'm going to use a big old brush, and I'm going to go for, first of all, we're going to start with the highlights on the nose and on the cheeks with our light powder, and then go for a regular translucent, working our way from the cheeks, because the problem with powder on the mask is it will stick and then stay powder looking, so you have to be really careful. Okay. That looks pretty fucking awesome. I'm pretty happy with what we're doing so far. But we definitely need a little bit of like blush. So we have to be careful with this because it is going to be very, very noticeable. So I'm using a very light colored blush that has a little bit of highlighter in it. And we're just going to dab it gently onto our cheeks. Ah, look at that. We have color in our cheeks now, guys. How cute is that? I think we are ready for lipstick. This part, because we have painted so beautifully our lips onto the mask, look at that. We can probably do our lips with a flat mask. I'm just going to set it down, and I'm going to go get, I think I'm going to use this and some lip liner. Don't forget, guys, when you do this, you need to wash your brushes out because they're going to be filthy. So use lots of rubbing alcohol. All right, and I'm going to get some lipstick, and we're going to choose our colors. Okay, now this is the part where we get to have fun because the lips is all we really have to work with here. So we can go dark, we can go red, and we can really do whatever we want. But to start off with, I am going to use a light pink or neutral color just to draw. So I have like a brown. So we're going to lip liner here with this beautiful brown underneath. Line our lips. Oh, burning through that. And then do underneath. Now let's take a look and see how that looks on. Do we have a good sturdy lip liner? Yes, yes, we do. Now, glass is probably not a good idea to use because it will bleed into the mask. So I'm going to suggest just a regular old lipstick. You just need to pick your color. Crimson Coast. That sounds amazing. Let's do it. You guys ready? Oh, I can't do it this way. I have to put my mask down. We're gonna do Crimson Ghost. Oh, it looks amazing. Crimson Coast by Burt Bees. It looks Beautiful. Just a gentle filling in of the actual lip. We don't need to go overboard because it's going to be noticeable. And then we'll pop it on and see how it looks. Oh my God, guys. Does that not look amazing? All right. Look at that. I am now with the face. All right, I think that's as good as it's going to get. Thank you for joining me with my tutorial for how to paint your face on your face mask. That was hard to breathe.